So welcome all to this webinar on how Basic Fit is implementing a frontline employee tool. We'll start in a few seconds because we're still waiting for some people to attend. I see that the whole webinar is taking place and the room is filling, but we'll just wait 1 minute before we start. And then we start with an introduction of myself and Antonella. So we're 1 minute into the webinar already, so I think it makes sense to start, Antonella. Thank you all for joining, and there will be some people joining the event later as well, I suppose. But it's already getting nice and crowded, so that's always good to see. Thanks all for attending this webinar. Antonella and I will be talking about how Basic Fit implemented an employee app for all their employees. Well, first, let us introduce ourselves. Antonella, maybe you can start with a short introduction about yourself.
Yeah, nice to meet you, everyone. And yeah, I'm Antonella Miozzi from Heijden. I am a Senior Communications and PR Manager at Basic Fit.
Well, thanks for that. And my name is Ties Guensberg. I'm Director at Speap. I've been helping organizations for over a decade now with improving their internal communications, and especially operations on organizations with a lot of non-desk employees, because we see that the challenge there is a lot different than the organizations that have a lot of desk employees. So Antonella and I will be talking through the nice experience that they have with the decisions of the tool they use. So I think it's time, Antonella, to go to the next slide on where we are kicking off.
Yeah, let's dive right into it.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, so let's dive right into the agenda for today. We will have a quick kickoff. I will briefly introduce Basic Fit, who we are, and where we're based. We will then dive into our internal communication challenge, what prompted us to reach out to Speap and start collaborating, what is our solution that we work on together, and how do we use it, and how do we keep improving it. So we are Basic Fit. Some of you might know us, especially if you're based in the Netherlands. We are a Dutch company and we're the #1 fitness company in Europe. Some quick numbers. We are currently based in 6 countries and we are market leaders in 5 of the 6 countries that we're based in. We have more than 1,616 clubs across Europe with more than 4.47 million members and over 8,000 employees. So we're working with a very big employee population when it comes to internal communications. What is our goal here at Basic Fit? Our mission, we are on a mission to make fitness accessible to everyone and getting people to love their fitness habits. And we do so by following our values, which can be summarized by the word basic, and they stand for be accessible, smart, inclusive, and committed. These values really drive us into everything that we do as a company. I also have here a short video that will give you a little bit more of an idea of who we are and what do we do. Let's see how it plays.
Europe's largest and fastest growing fitness chain. 250 million club visits a year. A market leader in 5 of our 6 countries. We keep growing, expanding, leading, because we keep innovating. At Basic Fit, technology is at the core of our business model. From picking the ideal locations for our clubs, to personalizing and optimizing the experiences for every member. Monitoring is supported by AI. This way, we can operate more clubs with less personnel, while still guaranteeing the safety of our members. With our improved self-service, members get answers to their questions easily and can manage their own subscriptions. Our technology makes our business model scalable. It keeps our costs low. It makes our members happy, and it fuels our ambition to have more than 3,000 clubs in 2030. We are ready for it. We are Basic Fit.
Yeah, so this hopefully give you a little bit more of an idea of who we are. So what was our internal communication challenge? As I mentioned before, we are right now at more than 8,000 employees across Europe. We grew exponentially in the last few years. We keep growing really fast. So our main challenge, the main challenge that presented itself for internal communication was making sure that we keep this increasing employee force constantly engaged, especially part-time employees. We have a lot of club employees which work part-time. So it used to be a challenge to make sure that they stayed informed and they kept interacting with us. We used to have, before working with Speap, we used to have an inefficient email process. That's how we used to reach our employees. Inefficient because, as you can imagine, with a raising employee force, this presented rising cost per email inbox. And also it became particularly complicated to reach our club employees, which do not receive a personal email inbox once they join the company, but they work with our club email inbox, meaning that, for example, if an update will be sent via email during one employee's shift, that employee would see the message, but maybe the person working after them, they wouldn't see it and wouldn't be up to date. So it was very inefficient. And of course, there were privacy concerns, right? Because there is some HR content that needs to be kept separate and private. So what was the solution that we came up with?
Yeah, and Antonella, I see that a poll just arrived in the screen, stating question that you have for our audience is, what is the biggest communication challenge that you have right now? So if everybody fills it in, then we can later on in this webinar give a short summary of all the answers that are given. So feel free to vote and continue the presentation, Antonella.
Yeah, do you want me to give a few seconds, or can I dive right into it?
Well, we've got, if we take a few seconds, I see that the first two, the challenges measuring is not reaching the right people, messages are not reaching the right people, and employees are unaware of the available resources. Yeah. They go really in neck and neck, so it's really close. Yeah. And now we see that messages do not reach the right people is becoming the big leader. So that's very, well, recognizable for a lot of our clients. Is that something that you recognize as well, that the messages didn't reach the right people?
Yeah, definitely. And we will touch a bit into that in the next few slides. How did we fix that with our new internal platform?
Great. Well, continue then, please.
Okay, so the solution for us is Orange Connect. Orange Connect is our internal communication platform that we started building together with Speap. So we connected with Speap and we started building Orange Connect, which is our, as I said, internal communication platform, which really allows a two-way communication. It fits our brand needs and is very straightforward and easy to use. Think a little bit about something like Facebook or Instagram. We can share a post and employees can like and comment. So it's very interactive and very, very easy to use for everyone. When Orange Connect was first born, we looked at a few implementations that will make our life easier to operate it, and also will make the platform a little bit more efficient for our employees and easy to use. So first and foremost, we had to come up with a name. We named Orange Connect along our values that I previously mentioned. Orange comes from the fact that we're a Dutch company, so orange is the national color here. And then Connect, because we want to make sure that all of our employees stay connected and engaged. And then when we looked at implementations on the platform, the very first one was an HRM system integration that allows us to automatically add and remove our colleagues from Orange Connect. This makes it very seamless for our team to make sure that our entire employee force has access to the platform. Then we looked at our chatbot integration. This is present both for our laptop solution and our app solution on Orange Connect. We have a chatbot integration where employees can just get instant support and ask any question that they might have and get an answer in real time. And then again, this represents a very easy access solution especially for frontline workers, so club employees that can just open their phone and open the app and just bring themselves up to date, but also they can ask any questions to the chatbot if they have any questions. And it also includes training and intro material. This was another fundamental implementation that we really looked at. We created within Orange Connect a hub where employees can log in and then they can grab links, for example, to documents or applications that they might need to do their job. So all of these implementations together really helped us make Orange Connect not just an effective way for employees to stay up to date, but also like their one-stop shop for them to start their day and grab all the information that they need to be successful at their job.
Okay, that's very interesting. And Antonella, you mentioned earlier in the presentation that it was hard to reach the club employees when you didn't have a communication tool. How did that change, and how were you able to connect with them after the decision of getting Orange Connect?
Yeah, we will, in the next few slides, we will go into the structure that we gave our Orange Connect environment, but just briefly, I guess we can summarize it into, we created a special environment, both for example, club employees, but also for office employees, where it would really allows us to target our message and make sure that we reach them with targeted messages that are relevant to them.
They were able to access that via their laptop or their phone, and they could register via their private email address, I suppose. So it made it a lot easier at that time. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good to hear.
Yeah. So as I said, Orange Connect is really the heartbeat of our internal communications. It's the one-stop shop for our employees to grab all the information that they need and all the tools that they need. And it's really efficient in making sure that all of our employees are kept in the loop. We have real-time updates for all the countries with the news and feed items. I will then, in the next few slides, explain what the difference is between these two. It has the easy document access because of the employee hub that we worked on, lots of collaborative tools, mobile accessibility, what we were just mentioning. So especially very important for club employees that do not have a laptop. And the smart chatbot integration makes it very, very easy for them to have a quick answer to any questions that they might have.
And regarding that smart chatbot integration, can you tell a bit more about how that works?
Yeah. So it's what it sounds like. It's a smart chatbot integration. So within both the laptop and the app, you will have a little icon in the corner of your screen that you can just click on, and you can type in any questions that you might have, and you will receive an automatic real-time answer.
Okay, so that then takes the workload out of your support.
Exactly. But also it's very efficient for our employees that need a specific kind of information. They don't need to wait on us to come back to them, but they just get immediate answer to the question.
Okay, so it can also be a question like how many holidays do I still have?
Yeah, let's
in the
say,
chat
for
as well.
example, you want to know how many holiday days per year you're entitled to, because we have an integration also with Workday. You can just type in the question and then you can receive, for example, our employee handbook as an answer. So you get the link to the handbook, you can click on it and you can read and grab the information that you need.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So all to make it easier for the employees to get information that they need to do their work. Basically, yeah,
Exactly.
makes sense. One thing I wanted to mention in between, we've got the option to ask questions as well. It's on the bottom right of the screen. You see a button to ask questions. So if the people attending the webinar have got questions, then please feel free to ask them. And at the end, we've got some time to go over them one by one. So feel free. And back to you, Antonella.
Cool. Yeah, so we covered a little bit our solution, and now let's look at how do we use it. This is what I was mentioning before. So we broke down our environment, our Orange Connect environment, to make sure that we really target our message and we make sure that we don't overload people with information that is not interesting or relevant for them, but we really target our message. So first and foremost, the environment is divided into countries. We have 6 different environments per country. And then within the country, we have a breakdown into office employees and club employees. And then again, within those 2 main groups, we have some subgroups, which can be functional. So think about, for example, the marketing team has their own group where they share documents or updates, but it can also be fun. We have a lot of running groups. You can imagine a lot of fitness enthusiasts in this company. So running groups are very, very popular.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the employee hub, this is what I was mentioning before. It gives you a little bit of an idea of what it looks like. We have this specific section of Orange Connect where people can grab links to apps or documents, whatever it is that they need to start their job, and then they can grab all their information here. So we're really trying to make it a one-stop shop.
Yeah, so it's the go-to point for all your employees to find every information that they need, work-related, but also a bit more informal with the running groups and stuff like that. So it's nice to know and need to know all become all together in one app.
Exactly. Yeah. Our goal is really for our employees to start the day by grabbing a cup of coffee, opening the Orange Connect app, and then just move on with their day from there.
Yeah, makes sense.
We have 2 types of posts that we use to communicate to our employees on Orange Connect. So we have nice to know posts and must know. As you can see, the nice to know ones, they're called updates, and they really look like Facebook or Instagram posts. We have a copy, pictures, or in this case, but it can also be a video or a link to, I don't know, PDF file, slide deck, whatever you need to share. And then employees can like and comment. So it's very much of a 2-way communication. It's not a top-down format. And we are constantly also receiving feedback from our employees, which helps us also improve. And then we have the must know posts. These are called news posts. So as you can see, a little bit of a different format. We have a banner, and then underneath the banner, we have a copy, and you can also just attach, again, a picture, a video, or a document. And the difference is that with the news post, we can notify our employees. So if there's something critical that we need our employees to know, we will share a newsfeed post and we will notify them. They will get a notification both in their app or Orange Connect account. And then for the employees that also have an email address, they will receive a email notification also in their inbox that is letting them know that there's an item that requests their attention. Maybe also interesting to know, the news items also give us a little bit more information and stats. So for example, we can see how many employees have viewed the post. So that also gives us an indication of, maybe we need to reshare the message, for example, if it hasn't been seen by enough people, or we need to give it a push.
Yeah, and I think with the news items, it makes sense that you can also select multiple groups to publish it to, and also to make sure that you already set them in the calendar. So if you know that 1st of June there's an important message that needs to be sent out, you can already prepare it and set it ready. That makes sense.
Yeah, it can be scheduled, which is helps a lot also when, especially if we need to distribute the message in different countries, right? We also need to translate it. We need to prepare it in advance. So that's really helpful.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So next steps, how do we keep improving?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, so as of right now, we have 96% of adoption, which means that almost everyone has an active account. I'm realizing this might be a little bit confusing because I mentioned before that with our HRM system, employee integration, employees get added and removed automatically. Once they get added automatically, once they join the company, they still need to activate their account. So that's why we see a 96% activation here instead of 100%, but still a pretty good percentage. And then when we look at the monthly logins, we see 84% of our users that log in monthly on Orange Connect, which indicates a pretty solid engagement. What we're still working on improving is the daily logins, which are a little bit lower than the monthly login. And we think this is also due to the fact that, as I said, most of our employees are part-time employees in the clubs, so they might not log in on a daily basis.
Yeah, and I see that 10% is actually engaged. And then what's the difference between the active users and the engagement? Does it have anything to do with the way they contribute to posting on the platform and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we look at engagement in terms of people liking or commenting our posts, our updates. So that is still a little bit low. However, we see a big difference between countries.
Yeah, and I think that's a bit the same that you see in the communication tools that we use in our day-to-day life. When looking at Instagram and Facebook, a lot of people are just looking, and there's a small percentage that's also contributing in the messages.
Yeah, exactly. So if we look at the differences here, in interactions, again, this is what we're talking about. We also see a big difference between countries. Spain being our most active country, both for interactions and logins. And then we see that the Netherlands is the lowest interactive country. So a little bit of work still to do there to get our employees a little bit more engaged.
Yeah.
So Orange Connect, we keep getting better. Our goal, as I said, is to boost daily engagement with the seamless access that we offer, support and SSO integration for our employees to get started with their day. So we're trying to encourage daily logins and engagement, especially working with the employee ambassadors. We try to boost the centralized employee portal. And we are working on optimizing the chat support to make it a little bit more efficient and smooth.
And I see that there's a new poll that has just been added. The question this time is, how does internal communication work at your company today? So I'm curious on what everybody is answering there. What will happen. So if everybody submits their vote, we can see what the answers are. And I see that it's we use an internal communication platform. It's very popular at the moment, so that's good. It's good to hear that a lot of organizations also already are using tools like Speap. Still, a lot of communication is going via email, which it's always like that, but it's that needs to change. And obviously, the traditional internet is also very, very popular. So it's nice to see that how that's going, and so that's some nice answers. But then back to you again, Antonella.
So wrapping up, how do we keep improving? We're just getting started, as I said. We're really trying to make Orange Connect our one-stop shop for all our employees. So developing it as more than a tool. It's really how we connect and empower our employees. We're really proud of the fast service from Speap. You've been a great partner since the beginning in developing this platform. And it's just the beginning. Together, we're working to build a stronger and more engaged Basic Fit.
Wow, that's nice to hear. It's nice to hear your side of the whole implementation, how it's going for a change. From Speap, we also already hear the stories from ourselves, but it's good to have client talk a bit about that. But we have also some questions, so we've got a few minutes to spare. So I think let's go over a few of them, if you're okay with that, Antonella.
Yeah, let's do it.
And the first one, I was curious about that myself as well, but I don't know if you know the answer to this. But do you have any idea why the people in Spain and France interact more than in the Netherlands? Has that got to do with culture or the way of communication?
In France specifically?
Yeah, Spain and France, they interact more.
I think it's cultural. We see it a lot, especially with Spain. I think it has a cultural factor in there. We see the same also on our social media platforms. For example, we have different Instagram accounts for Basic Fit for different countries, and we see different engagement and reactions to our posts per country. So I think there's a big cultural factor there.
Yeah. I suppose it is. It does indeed. And there's another question from about the way the platform is being used, and the question is I can answer that as well, but I'll pass it over to you, Antonella. But is it possible to give a reaction to the need to know posts, so to the news items? Is it possible to give comments and likes and reactions to those posts?
Yeah, definitely. It's also possible to hide those responses, for example. So it really depends on what kind of message you want to publish, and if you want to make it an interactive post or not. So you can allow comments, but you can also not allow them depending on the case study.
Yeah, because sometimes you post a message that you don't want any reactions to.
Exactly.
So you can switch it off. It
makes
sense.
It's definitely also a collaborative post, so people can still share their feedback if they want to.
Yeah. And being an international company like Basic Fit, active in 6 countries and market leader in 5, how do you handle the different languages in the different countries?
Yeah, that's a good question. So that's because of the different languages. It's not the only reason, but I would say one of the main reasons why we broke down the environment to 6 different countries. This really allows us to not only target the message for the country and make sure that it's relevant, but also translate it, of course. We have country marketeers. So we have the message is usually developed internationally. If it's an international message, sometimes it can be something local that is developed within the country. And there's a really strict collaboration between international and our country marketeers, which help us localize and translate the message and publish.
The messages are translated beforehand, or do the employees also have the option to translate it themselves? So translate.
So when, for example, if there's an international message, it's distributed in English to all the countries, and then they're in charge of translating and publishing on their environments.
Okay, it's good. Good to know. It's there's also an option available that the employees can click on translate this message, and it will be translated automatically. But that's not being very actively used, I suppose, since it's all in local languages.
We translate it always ourselves. Usually we usually just translate it ourselves.
Makes sense. And another question, and I think that will already be the last question since we're almost through our time. But it's the question is: are the employees willing to download an app on their private phone?
Yeah, we actually see a lot of employees that do download the app. I must say, we still see the majority of them use it on their laptops, but I think this is, of course, it's more the case for HQ or office employees, which are sitting behind their laptop all day. And then we see a difference with, of course, club employees, which find the phone app a lot easier for them, of course, because they don't have a laptop and they can just use their phone.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. And but is there also sort of resistance for the employees saying, well, this is a work-related app, I don't want to download it on my phone, or do they think, well, it's quite convenient to have this on my phone so that I can access the information anytime, anywhere?
Yeah, no, we didn't really receive a lot of resistance actually for club employees, which are the ones using the app mainly. They're really happy that they can have it always available to them.
That's good to hear. Well, maybe we can quickly have time for one last question. If you're, I think everybody is really into this. And I think one last question, it's nice to ask on how smooth was the implementation with such a big group, over 8,000 employees, 6 different countries? Was it one big bang, or was it a phased rollout? And do you have any insights in that, or was that in the early days?
This was in the early days, was before I joined, so I don't know, but I mean, it's always about change management, right? Especially if you're moving from an email-only communication system to a new platform, there's going to be a period of adoption where people need to basically change their habits, and they need to figure out this new platform, how it works, why is it useful to them. So, of course, there is an implementation period that will need to scale.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's always good to know, and it makes sense indeed. It's a big change in the way you can interact and communicate with all the employees, and it takes time. That makes sense. Okay, well, Antonella, I think that brings us to the end of this webinar. Are there any last words that you want to share with us, or did you share everything that?
Just it's always a big change to look at new ways to communicate to our employees. Just my recommendation is really look at what are your needs, the needs for your company, and there's always going to be a period of adaptation, of course, but take your time and look at the best way that works for you and your company.
Great. Thanks very much then, Antonella, and thank you for all the people attending this webinar. We'll have another webinar in a couple of weeks, so keep a lookout onto our socials and website where you can register. And for now, I'd like to thank you all. And if you've got any questions, still feel free to reach out to us. So we'll get back to you after. Thanks, Antonella, for this webinar.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Same to you. Bye-bye.